Hey everybody, this is Tony.
And this is Paul. We're coming at you from the Friends for Life podcast, where we discuss the ongoing lives and issues of people with developmental disabilities to spark positive change in the field.
And we have a lot of fun doing it.
Making sure that individuals are reaching the goals they have set for themselves. That's one of the many goals of Assured Health Services. If you're looking for a residential care provider or searching for ADS services, Assured Health is your go-to place. Assured Health, helping others succeed. Learn more at assuredhealthohio.com or call 419-442-8066. Dustin and Jordan, welcome to the Friends for Life podcast. It's awesome being here at Synergy. So what brings the both of you out here today?
Well, we have an art studio out of Highland County in Hillsborough, Ohio, and it is run by, and all of the art is created by adults with disabilities.
Cool.
When they work on the pieces, we range anywhere from woodworking to canvases to, we've done things with yarn, we've done things with papier-mâché. We really kind of get in there with all kinds of different ideas, and every time we have an idea, we try it.
Awesome.
And the ones that we really, really like and that they really enjoy, they run with. So right now, we really specialize in like wall plaques that are painted up, and they are actually the drawings done by adults with disabilities. The artists draw the piece, and then I blow it up with an old-time projector and put it on wood, and I cut all the wood out and then bring it back in, and they paint it up. So when it's painted, we put like one of the little sawtooth brackets on the back of it so that it can hang, and it's a wall plaque. So that's what we're specializing in right now. But we have a new artist that really, he has a 3D printer, and he loves his 3D printer, and he sits at home and he designs all these things. We have these little toad magnets right now that are the most colorful, most adorable thing in the world. We've almost sold out of those already today. So he brings what he gets done into the workshop or into the studio, and I take it to festivals and different sales, and that's where we sell.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, and so Dustin, after hearing Jordan explain all of that, what is your part of this? How do you get involved? What's your special artistic way of thinking?
I usually tend to wing it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, right? That's life. I actually find if I think about it too much, I end up not doing anything.
You know what? I hear that about art. It's like I'm very interested in how people come up with thought processes, and I think I've always heard the more you think about it, the harder it is to create.
There's some truth to that.
Yeah. Do you have any special creations that you've done in the recently that you are very excited about?
There was one I ended up drawing. Someone actually ended up buying a thing of it. It's a heart and cross.
Okay.
It's a heart with the cross inside it. That's actually been a real favorite of mine.
Nice.
He also has a new drawing that he's done recently, well, within the last year, and it's of this mask, and it's half of it is like, it has all kinds of designs on one half of it, and the other half is just kind of plain. So when you split it down the middle, it's a face, but both sides are not symmetrical, and it's really unique looking. And I've got one of those hanging in there, and almost every festival I go to, I get to sell one of those.
Oh,
because people because we duplicate them over and over and over again, different sizes, and then they're painted all different. Even though it's the same drawing, it's duplicated, but the person who paints it might paint it differently than the person before.
Gotcha.
So they're all original, and even though it's the same design, it's probably a little bit different in size, and the painting job is different totally.
I am a shoe connoisseur, so I love one-of-ones. Like if I can get a one-of-one of anything,
Absolutely.
I am right there.
And that's all of our stuff.
Look, that's
all
beautiful.
of it is original.
That's awesome. Do you prefer to paint? Do you prefer to you have a medium that you like working with, or is anything fun?
I usually tend to be like draw generally.
Draw.
And there was actually one time I asked Jordan if she would to describe the style, the way and she ended up saying cartoony, which I would actually have to agree with that, because I actually grew up watching stuff like Looney Tunes, among other things, so.
Let's go.
Actually, Dustin has been commissioned through the art studio. He actually did a piece where it was a tattoo artist or a tattoo?
It was a local tattoo shop in Hillsborough.
Nice.
Yeah, and they asked him to do a bumblebee with a guitar. And so
that's
he
awesome.
drew a bumblebee, and he was having a hard time with the guitar. And I said, well, let's just do a generic guitar kind of placed in that drawing. So that's kind of what we did. But now when we duplicate it, it's just the bumblebee without the
Gotcha.
guitar, because the guitar was generic. It was just something I found on the internet. So, but that was a really cute piece when he delivered it. That
also-
guy was really happy.
There was also the eagle.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. He was commissioned to do the eagle too. So
Let's go.
Killing it.
yeah,
Man.
he's great.
That one took some time. I had to learn to draw that from scratch.
Look, I think art and music are like two things that I always wish when I was younger that I was more talented at. And it's very selfish because I wanted girls to like me. And I always thought if I could make a beautiful picture or sing a song that it would help me, but it didn't work.
Well, if you are in music, girls only like you if you're famous, Tony.
Truth. There's a lot of truth to that.
I've noticed this place has a ton of really cool art. In my opinion, what do you think of the art here? There's like everywhere you look, there's a statue.
We were just talking about an art piece that we were coming up the hallway, and it's this blue. It almost looks like a surfboard, and there's like 3 of them in this hallway over here, and they are stunning. Mostly because I love the colors.
Yeah.
But Dustin actually is the one that pointed them out to me, and he goes, "Those are really neat." So yeah, they're really beautiful
There's
around
definitely
here.
some neat things to look at.
And the big lion. We're
yeah.
all
Oh,
impressed
yeah.
by the big lion
Yeah.
at the end of this hallway. That was cool.
Yeah, good thing there ain't lions that big, because oh man,
We'd be in trouble. Maybe like
big
a few
time.
million years ago, they might have been that big.
Oh,
We
you
don't know.
mean? Oh boy.
Did you see? So right out behind us here, right behind you, there's it's like a bunch of bones that have like etching in them, and there's painting in them. I was looking at
Oh,
that
that's
while I
wild.
was waiting to set up, and it was really cool looking.
Now
It's
I'm gonna
really
have to go
detailed.
around there and
it's
look.
right around the corner. It's really beautiful.
Wild
actually.
and probably at the same time a little creepy.
Well, you know, you guys don't make art with bones in it?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
No
We've
human
made art with
skulls around.
sticks. We've made art with all kind. We've made art with trash.
Yeah.
We are total about upcycling, and when I'm looking for ideas, that's pretty much one of the main words that I look up is upcycled art.
Yeah.
And so many people have so many great ideas and creative ideas that I'm jealous, but I will not hesitate to steal those ideas from the studio. So yeah, when we find something, we run with it.
Hey, when
So-
inspiration strikes.
Exactly.
All right, I'm always this guy. I play angel's advocate.
First time hearing that term.
You know, I don't want us to invoke evilish spirits if you're
Good
into
call,
that.
man. Good call. Good call.
If there's any art out there that you've ever seen that you kind of were confused about where the artist was going, and if so, what has it been? I know I have a couple that I've seen and just it was confusing to me. Anything?
We did a class at the studio, and each month we would take a different artist, and I would do all kinds of research on their style and what they did, and then I would bring it to the studio for the class. And we had one that was literally where his mask idea came from. The artist, shamefully I can't remember the artist's name, but the artist did
There's some that have some tricky names, let's be honest.
they did faces, but they were down the middle and asymmetrical. So the face would be like the nose over here would be real small, the nose over here would be real big, but it's on the same face. And that's where we really enjoyed that class. I mean, everybody got into it and everybody did their own drawings, their own pictures. And that one of Dustin's, like I said, has really done really good. People really like it and it sells a lot. And then another one we did was and it was from that art class. And once again, I can't remember the name of the artist. That's so bad.
Well, again, some of those artists we looked at had their names were kind
Yeah,
of tricky.
they had some funky names, but
That's
we
probably
took,
art in itself. The name.
Absolutely. We took, and I had the artist draw 3 different faces. Different. They all had to be different.
Oh, yeah, that was
And
fun.
then I took, from each one of them, I took one of the eyeballs, one of the mouths, one of the ears, and I combined those into one face.
Whoa.
And I took different features from those three different drawings for each person, and I combined them, and then they were able, and I cut each piece out. Like I cut out all the noses, and I cut out all the eyes, and I cut out all the faces. So they were able to reassemble their face using parts from all three of those faces.
Oh, those turned out
And they made one face. Yeah, they turned out really
those are actually
great.
still, I think, in the art studio on shelves.
We've got them up on this for display at the studio. So
Awesome sauce.
The interesting thing about the building our art studio is in, it actually used to be a gun store.
Really?
At one point.
Wow. And you find any shells around?
Nah, fortunately
no,
not.
we had bars on the windows when we moved in, though. So
Well, you can always take those down and create
yeah,
your
and
own.
they have. So it doesn't look like a prison anymore. So.
The Reliable Drug and Alcohol Testing Clinic is a leading provider and convenient source of pre-employment and occupational type testing. Their clinic provides services to a wide range of private businesses, healthcare facilities, and municipal and county courts. Reliable is an independent, locally owned clinic. As a result, they provide their services at a lower cost than the major hospitals, have faster turnaround times on test results, and eliminate the long waits typically incurred at these larger facilities. To learn more, visit reliabledrugtest.com.
Do you have a favorite artist? Someone that you really look up to?
I wouldn't say that I do necessarily.
No. Sometimes it's not a bad thing.
Yo, that's very respectful, because that's honestly giving your mind the openness to be able to explore things.
True that.
I am a type of person, I have a favorite like hip hop artist. Eminem is my favorite hip hop artist. But that sometimes keeps me from wanting to learn new hip hop artists just because. And so I think to have that open thought is definitely all right.
Yeah, kind of being able to feel the creative flow.
Yes. Well, quick question in regards to purchasing the art. Like, is there a price range that typically that it falls in? I mean, I'm sure art is
now,
always subjective.
The basic things that we travel with, that we sell, run anywhere from $3 up to $30.
Okay.
But we've been commissioned before. We have done different projects. We just recently, somebody hired the studio. They brought in a beehive, like
Really?
an actual beehive, and asked us to paint it with bees all over it. And we just recently did that. They haven't picked it up yet, but yeah.
I was actually wondering about that.
Yeah, they've already paid for it and everything, and they were really happy with it.
They already paid for it.
But it just kind of depends. Right now, our specialties only run up to about $30.
Okay.
But we have sold multiple pieces like at request that are bigger, or they need more, or they take more time, or they're more intricate, and the price is just kind of set depending on what's needed.
Okay, that perfectly makes sense. If there's an option to be able to be in this studio, how does that happen? How do you go about it?
Right now, we only serve Highland County.
Okay.
And it's anybody with an IEP or that has a disability. I have people that are not in the program, but they do have a disability that come from their own homes, and their families bring them in to take part. We have the local workshop really works well with us, getting their people. They'll bring like an entire van on Thursdays up to us. It just kind of depends. Right now, it's word of mouth, and the SSAs that have their caseloads, they always, if they feel like this is something that like a new individual would be interested in, they automatically tell them about the art studio. I take tours of the art studio like monthly. I'll take two or three every month with the SSAs sending them to me.
Perfect.
So, which the tours don't last very long. I mean, it's like if you blink, you miss it. But we're just our building is real small, but it's perfect for us. It really does the job. This next year we are looking into making the actual studio a gallery. That we work in. So it will no longer be an art studio. It'll be a gallery that we work out of.
Studio and gallery.
Yeah, it'll be a studio/gallery.
And
so
Dustin, I'm expecting you're going to have some things sitting up there, huh? You strike me as a leader, my man. Like, are you helping people with their art skills? If someone comes in and they might not necessarily have a eye for what they want to be a part of? Do you help lead in that direction at all?
Yes, I'm willing to offer the help if they would like. I'm willing to offer the help.
That's good, man.
Dustin is a leader. He's in People First of Highland County.
There you go.
And he takes he's very good at taking a stand.
Yeah.
And that's a real need in this field.
Yes.
Not only for the staff and not only for, direct staff, but for the individuals, them to be their own advocates and them to speak up. And there's nobody out there better at that than Dustin. And he's the way he goes about it is so professional and so kind. He is one that is very willing to agree to disagree about things. Yeah. You're not going to change his mind, but he's never going to judge you for your opinion. And he's amazing like that.
Yeah, we've had me and Jordan have had some interesting conversations.
I love talking politics with him.
No, let's go.
Because even if we disagree, I disagree with you. Okay, well, that's okay. And we go on. And it's wonderful talking to him.
Like on the way here?
Yeah, on the way up here. We had a 3.5-hour drive to talk about politics, and we talked about politics most of the way.
Yeah, that just happened to be the subject that came up for some reason.
Hey, well,
It always seems to be the one that comes up.
Absolutely, but like I said, he is a leader. He's just a natural-born leader. And when I need help with things or I need to talk to somebody, Dustin's my man. He's always there.
What was the inspiration for the studio in the first place?
Well, when Ohio decided that all of their workshops would privatize, okay, that left a big void in a lot of DDs, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? And I was there when all of that started being talked about. And I remember as a direct staff being worried about what does this mean for us?
Right.
I work direct staff with these individuals. What is this going to mean? So when this all went down and they were pushing for that, we knew it was coming. Highland County we were ready. They were on board. They were willing to do anything. So the board decided that they needed to shake things up a little bit to make it more accurate for the individual's needs. So once
Makes
we
sense.
did privatize, Highland County would be ahead of the game on having a service that was outside of the box that individuals really loved. Well, once we got it up and started, we actually had a team come in of consultants that they came in and they kind of showed us the possibilities of how to do this and what some of the possibilities of the different mediums and how to do things. And a woman named Patty Mitchell, she was part of the consultant group. She came in and she kind of trained some of the staff. And she told the board of DD that they need to hire someone that does nothing but the studio. Mm-hmm. And it needs to be someone that's creative and can run with it. So they put another woman in charge of it because I was, it wasn't a big deal to me. And she just she didn't like it. It wasn't her thing. And I consider exactly. And she was a great DSP and she was so good at her job, but it wasn't her.
Gotcha.
This wasn't her. And I'm artsy fartsy and I drip color and I constantly wear tie-dye for the color. So
artsy fartsy.
So they decided, they asked me, how would you feel? And I was like, let's try it. If it works, it works. So it was the greatest change in my life personally. It's not about me, but this has been the greatest thing to happen to me. And so when we did it, once they split and our workshop moved out, well, the board decided to keep the art studio. So now it's just a service that is offered in our county, but the board actually funds it. They pay me. I'm paid by the board. So it's all set up so that this is just a service that has nothing to do with anybody but the artists.
That's awesome.
That is great.
Yeah. Well, if people want to learn more about you guys that are from Highland County, if they want to get involved,
we're on Facebook and Instagram under Up and Beyond Art. They can go on there, and we do, like I said, you can order stuff. We ship anywhere in the United States with a little bit of shipping and handling. But they just need to contact me. And like I said, they can go on there, or they can look us up under Up and Beyond Art Studio in Hillsboro, Ohio.
And also, you're hoping to have a website.
Yeah, we're working on a website right now, but in all fairness, it's way more, it's over my pay scale. It's way over what I'm capable of.
It's not fun.
So it's like a whole lot of people are having to do steps to make that happen. And like when I get mine done, then somebody else can't do their part. And it's been a nightmare for the last year, but we're working on it. And once we do that, right now we sell mostly at festivals.
Okay.
We travel, and me and like one other artist will go, and they help me set up and they help me break down, which is very entailed.
Which has been a lot of the festivals have just been great for us.
Festivals are where we kick butt. It's super, because we're so original and nobody has ever seen our stuff before. People come in and they're like, oh, these are cute. And then, not to exploit our individuals, but I tell them these were all done by adults with disabilities. And they're like, wow, because there are some pictures in there that are just really, really good. They're really good. And people, I think it tickles me a little bit that they feel almost surprised. And when they act surprised, then they act guilty because they act so surprised. And it's like, well, it happens, but they get to see the talent that's coming out of the studio.
And we have some very talented artists.
Absolutely, very talented. And we have one of our main sellers right now is this cornhole board. And it's a little mini cornhole board.
Very Midwestern.
Yes. Absolutely. And they're
my parents got me a set for Christmas.
They're little tiny cornhole boards. And then they've got little bags that we make that are like this big. And we do themes. It kind of depends on
That sounds so adorable.
It kind of depends on the material that we have, because once we have the boards cut out and sanded down and ready, everything, we paint the boards to match the material that the little cornhole bags are made out of. And they're stuffed with rice. So,
micro cornhole.
Absolutely, micro cornhole.
It can be a little
I like
tricky to play.
Yeah.
It makes me, I just feel like I want to flick.
Absolutely. We sell a lot of those. Sell a lot
that's
of
been
those.
That's been a good seller.
And that idea, where I was going with that, I'm sorry. That idea actually came in. One of the artists came in, and he just came in to paint, and he brought in this piece of board, and it had a little hole in it. And he goes, Jordan, what does that look like? And I said, it looks like a little cornhole board. And he goes, I thought so too. Well, he goes to paint, and I said, tell me, where did you find that? And he goes, I was dumpster diving and I found it in the dump. And I was like, okay, well,
gotta start somewhere.
A few minutes later, we kind of went on with our conversations. We kind of went on with our day. And he turned around, he goes, Jordan, could we make little cornhole boards? And that just, I don't know why I didn't think of it. I'm kind of a little jealous that I didn't think of it. But he thought of that, and he came up to me, and I was like, yes, let me figure out how to make legs so that it's tipped. I said, but let's do this. So since then, now, because of the way our funding works, every artist gets 90% of every sale.
Whoa,
so every time I sell one of those cornhole boards, he automatically gets half of it, even though he's not touching them again. It was his idea, so he gets half of that 90%. The other half goes to the person that painted it.
What kind of themes are you doing?
We've done OSU. We do a lot of OSU ones.
Boo.
We do a lot of Bengals.
Go blue.
Hey.
Go blue.
Hey.
Yo, man.
I know.
I sat down here next to you unknowingly.
I happen to have a set of OSU ones.
So we've done a lot of sports ones, like a lot of football ones, a lot of, I've got one right now at the studio that's done in UK.
No.
And I'm not a fan, but every time I make one and I take it to a festival, it's the first one that sells.
First one to go, yeah.
Those fans,
How do you like
those
that?
people, they see them and they buy them. So
I want to offer you a quick piece of something. Let me know if it's bad. But maybe rivalry sets.
we have done those.
I thought I was doing something.
You just wanted that commission.
Yeah, I really did. I'm like, I want to get paid too.
Steelers and the Bengals.
Nice.
So, I was not happy about doing a Steelers, but I did it.
Okay,
and then we did a
connect on
Michigan
that.
and OSU one.
We connect on that.
Yeah,
Fist bump.
absolutely.
There we go.
Yes,
No
I'm not.
Steelers stuff.
I am not a Steelers fan, and it was funny. My late husband, he was a diehard Steelers fan, and I was a diehard Bengals fan, and we were a home. Just
home divided.
Just totally divided. We had a deal that when we played each other, whoever lost had to sleep on the couch.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we have done the rivals. So
Perfect. I
and
love it.
Like I said, every time I find some new material or I find a design that I was like, ooh, that'll look cute on a board. That's the next one we do. So
Keep the ball
yeah.
keep the ball rolling.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Bigger and better.
We will definitely be by. We're going to spend some money. I'm going to try to make sure Paul buys me something.
I like it. I like it.
And it's going to be on the $30 range.
We're gonna do you an OSU cornhole board, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's what you want. Yeah, see? If he's paying, he gets to choose.
You know what? And he will put that right in the studio.
I don't even
too.
like football, but I will gladly.
Absolutely.
I'm an OSU fan just because
And
Tony
they do
likes
other
it.
sports.
What's that?
They do other sports. They got football. They got basketball.
I'm not a sports guy.
He's a
I'm
fisherman.
I'm
Ain't
a
nothing wrong with that.
Fishing and hunting.
Nothing wrong with that.
Sounds like my
Not at
brother.
all. Not at all.
Fisherman and hunter. So yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. This has been awesome. We're
Yes.
glad you exist. We love art. We love talking about art. We've had many artists on our podcast.
Yes.
Keep up the good work, and we'll swing by and check your stuff out here in a little bit.
Well, we thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys
Always.
so much.
THS Remote Supports is clearly focused on improving independent living through dynamic and personalized services. Their systems have been carefully developed and perfected to ensure that everyone receives the best care through the least intrusive means possible. Located in Cincinnati, Ohio, they've spent over 20 years providing in-home supports to individuals with disabilities. If you or someone you know is looking for a remote service provider, go to thsrss.com or call 513-882-9088.